Everybody, welcome back to the finale of my haircut series where I am showing you how we do basic shapes and how they look on highly textured hair, and not just how the shapes look on highly textured hair, but how they look on curly hair versus how they look on straight hair. Now today we're going to be wrapping up this series with square layers. Okay, so yesterday, if you caught my wash day live, I did square layers on textured hair and I did a wash and go style. If you want to see the full tutorial or the full demonstration, as I should say, go ahead and check out my YouTube channel for all of my replays. Now today, this is an Instagram exclusive for now. I'll be putting the replay on my YouTube channel. But today what I want to do now is show you how the square layers look on straight hair. But what I'm going to do first is I'm going to cut it straight, then I'm going to flat iron it, and then we'll get to see the difference in that look. Okay, so if you are joining me and you have any questions, just drop them in the chat. And this is the end of the series. I'm very excited about it because I get a chance to visually see what these shapes look like in its different forms on curly hair versus straight hair, and also what are the results of the technique on each look. Now in my stories, just before I started this live, in my stories, I gotta put on my glasses, I did like a before picture of how it looked when I picked out this afro texture to see what it looked like. And I wish I kind of picked out all the other ones that I did. So far I did a round, I did a triangular, and I'm finishing it off with this square shape. And it looks so cool. I was just like, why didn't I think about this to do this on the other mannequins? But anyway, I am going to go ahead and jump right in and get started with this haircut. I already shampooed and conditioned the hair, and I prepped it with the Oribe Straight Away Blowout Cream, which is great for curly to straight transformations. Even though this is a mannequin, I want to be able to reuse this as many times as possible, which means I don't want the mannequin to get damaged either. So the Straight Away Blowout Cream is great for heat protection. It's a certified thermal protectant. Let me just show you what it looks like here in case you're not familiar. This is the Oribe Oribe Straight Away Smoothing Blowout Cream. All the products that I'm mentioning, you can find those in the link in my bio. All right, so let's just jump right into it. As you can see already, the shape is already there. I did this cut on curly hair, and now I'm just going to do my refining, my precision cut on hair in its blown out state. I'm excited about this because I am going to be using a comb, the little things that excite me. So when you're doing the curly cut, you just use your fingers and you kind of section with your fingers and the clips, just to kind of preserve the natural form, curl pattern. Because if you comb it out too much, you kind of start to lose how the hair naturally falls, which is just kind of defeating the purpose. But today, baby, I get to use my comb. I'm very, very excited about that. That's one of the hardest things that I had to get adjusted to, was being able to use my comb. All right, so I am going to section the hair into 4 sections. The first thing I'm going to do is part the hair from front to back, right down the center. And this is just a basic 4 sections that we do for most haircuts. Okay. This mannequin has so much hair. Oh my goodness. Unbelievable. Most mannequins are like, have this stringy kind of hair, but this hair is so thick. Very dense. So first, starting by parting the hair in half. Once I get the sections in, I'm gonna turn the mannequin around so I can show you, okay? Another thing that I discovered, I went on YouTube yesterday to look at some different ways that people are cutting these square layers to see if my techniques were similar to other folks' technique. And what I realized is that it was hard to find anyone cutting the square layers the way I was taught to cut the square layers. And so that led me to say to you guys that there are different types of square layers. They're not different types of square layers, but you can place the square layers in different places. So for example, I did the square layers literally a box in the front, box on the side, a box in the back. Okay, so that's what, even if you were to just only put the box on the top of the head, meaning the shape of the square, that would still be considered square layers. So that was an interesting discovery that I had yesterday, that people call square layers even when it's combined with over direction and multiple different shapes. And when I learned it, square layers was just square layers, you know? It meant that you basically had a box all over the head. There was no rounding at all, zero. Okay, so I'm just getting the 4 sections in here. I'm going ear to ear, right at the apex to just behind the ear. So going to be my 4 sections. Another thing I noticed when I was looking at the hair cutting videos, a lot of them are sped up. I guess nobody has the patience to sit for an hour-long video, but I like full-length haircut videos. I feel like I don't want to miss anything. And when you speed it up sometimes, they edit out the part, they usually just edit the part that you exactly want to see, you know? All right, so here are my 4 sections. Alright, so now the first thing I'm going to do is just establish my new guide. And we're keeping everything square. Look at this. So when you cut it curly sometimes, because I didn't do any refining yesterday at all, you know, when the hair is stretched out, you start to see some little bit of flyaway hairs, okay? So it's going to give me great pleasure to be able to cut those bad boys off. Combing everything straight back. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, sometimes no matter how much you try to keep the hair with no elevation, just by you putting one finger there, it's already starting to cause some elevation, which is going to cause a little bit of graduation, which is why some people use the comb so they can truly get, 0 degrees. But it's okay. I mean, I'm not going crazy about it. Okay, so now I'm going to start creating my shape of the head. And what I'm going to do here is just take one section down the middle. And this is just going to establish my guide that I'm going to be using for the rest of the haircut. Straight out from the head. Okay. So now all I have to do is just follow this guide. Making sure to comb everything straight back. I'm parting away the previous section, making sure this is straight back. Not much to cut here. Okay, so I cut the entire side vertical so I can check it horizontally. Perfect. If I want to cross-check every panel, I could do so like that. Okay, I'll save that for the end. So everything I just did here on the right side, I'm going to do everything, the same thing on the left, okay? You're not going to be able to see the left side as much, but what I learned from doing these demos is I'm going to have to get multiple angles, because every time I move the mannequin, I have to change my body position. It's not as easy as it looks. At least I haven't figured out how to do it. All right, so everything straight out from the head. split this section. I feel like I can't see my guide anymore, so I'm gonna just make this a little smaller. Okay, so the left side and right side. I did the back section. Okay, you can see, nice square shape. Now I'm going to work my way to the sides. I'm going to start with vertical sections. I'm going to take a section from the back as my guide. Clip that away. Take a bigger section here, just make sure I'm really looking at my guide here. if I wanted to, I could go in and start to refine the shape here. I'm going to leave that till after I flat iron it. Okay. I'm going to do the same thing here on the right side. Take a piece of the new section and a piece of the previous section. These sideburns always give me a hard time, but again, we can just refine it if we want after the hair is flat ironed. Okay, so now for the final section, I am going to cut that square shape on the top of the head. I'm going to take a piece of the previous section and one down the middle. Okay, so right here, right behind the ear. Okay, I'm going to take a piece there and then one going right down the center. And that's going to be my guide. Now I'm going to cut straight across, holding the hair straight out from the head, kind of using the camera as my guide. Again, so this mannequin was previously cut, so it's not going to be much to take off. I'm just going to cross check here. Okay. You can see it. That's another reason I really like cutting the hair blown out. You get instant gratification. You can see the shape right away. Right? Okay, I'm going to do the same thing on the left. Then I'm going to flat iron it. I'm gonna start running out of hair. Okay, now I'm just gonna cross check. Perfect. Perfect, 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 perfect. All right, now I'm going to dry it and, okay, square. You see that box? You're not going to see it that much, well, kind of. It still looks a little rounded, but that's because of the shape of the head. But let's see what this looks like flatland. Okay. I think square is my favorite shape so far. It's so much more fun. Turn my flat iron on. I'm going to be using the Gold Lust Dry Heat Protection Spray. I usually like to add a thermal protectant at every layer to protect the hair from the heat up to 450 degrees with the certified thermal protectant. All the products that I'm mentioning, you'll be able to find them. Link in bio on my Instagram page or in my description box if you are finding this on YouTube. This is the Gold Lust Dry Heat Protection Spray. And I think they call it dry because it's not like a wet spritz. So you get that conditioning and protection without that wet weighed down feel. Okay. So much hair. And you can't even take smaller sections because it's so dense. I'm going to challenge myself to be done by 5. Turn it up. is one of my more stubborn mannequins, obviously. Just keeps tangling a little bit, but I still love it more than the rest because the texture is so nice and bold. I think what I'm going to do is start flipping up the sides a little bit. That's what I used to do. So I'm going to flip these side pieces. Kind of hoping that I have my spray wax here with me today. This is gonna be cute. It's one of my favorite layers to do is square layers. I have so much fun with it. I'm hoping that I brought my spray wax. this Gold Lust Nourishing Hair Oil as a finisher. Alright, so I am going to put the finishing touches on my little friend, and I'll see you in my stories. Thank you so much for joining me for this limited series on shapes and how these shapes look like on curly versus straight hair. Alright, I'll see you in a few. Thanks for watching.